How's it going, guys? Sorry about the little camera issue there, but it's not too crowded, or crooked, I mean. But anyway, this is Gorillas Freak 23, and this is going to be another recap. This time it's episode 9 of Free Agents. We're getting towards the end here. Fortunately, it looks like this challenge is now becoming predictable, so I don't know, but I'm still enjoying it. So anyway, let's get started. Really, as far as the drama factor goes, nothing really happens till the end of the episode, in my opinion. So really, let's just go straight to the mission first. Today's mission, which we saw basically last season, which we saw on Rivals 1, I mean, it's called Dugout. And if you watched, actually it's a replica of Rivals 1. If you watched Rivals 1, a final elimination between CT and Adam, I think that was called Balls Out, actually, versus Johnny and Tyler, that's exactly what this is. Basically, today it's going to be male-male pairs who compete against each other and female-female pairs who compete against each other. So, even though we have seen a pair challenge, we've never seen it like this before yet. So, anyway, basically they all choose, and CT picks Zach as his partner, which doesn't even look fair on paper. Johnny and Kahutta are partners, and Johnny Bananas and Kahutta are, and Johnny Riley, the rookie, and Leroy are partners. And for the girls, Laurel and Devin are partners. Jessica and Cara Maria are partners, and Nani and Teresa are partners. So let's get started. Basically, we'll start with the girls. Dun, 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 dun. Everyone looks pretty sharp. Surprisingly, I mean, it shouldn't be surprised that Devin doesn't do much, but Laurel's just kind of trudging along and all that. Jessica and Cara Maria are giving a pretty good fight, but Nani and Teresa actually win for the girls, so they're winners of today's mission, which means they're safe from elimination. So really, I thought that was pretty surprising because I don't consider Nani, I mean, she's kind of in the middle at this point. She isn't doing too swell this season, but, Laurel had Devin, but then again, she didn't do that well. But I thought Cara Maria and Jessica might surprise us because they seem to do pretty well. Anyway, for the guys, I don't think I really need to recap it much. Basically, what you got to know is Leroy and Johnny Riley do absolutely terrible because of the fact that Johnny Riley keeps mixing up the balls, which is exactly what Adam King on Rivals 1 did, which is the exact same thing, only it's not an elimination this season. Basically, and in case you want to know exactly what you do, you start out at opposite ends of the pit, you grab the opposite person's balls, which is your partner, and then you bring them to your pit. So CT already had, and Johnny Bananas already have experience because they did the exact same thing on Rivals 1. So then it turns into a close match between Johnny Bananas and Kahutta and Zach and CT. But Zach is looking like a freaking wild animal out there. He's way faster than CT. He's probably stronger than CT. And he basically pushes CT and him to victory. And definitely, even CT admitted that Zach's, takes credit for that. So Zach, once again, proving he's a beast. I don't think, it's going to be hard to take down now. But, we'll see when the final comes because I'm pretty sure he won't lose an elimination. But, anyway, so the winners for today are CT, Zach, Teresa, and Nani. So they will be voting who goes in the elimination. So anyway, there's some discussion, and of course, a lot of it, like Zach actually says he's thinking about voting in Kahutta because he's good and he's a threat. I think he's blowing smoke. Kahutta is decent. He's better than people give him, but if you're going to vote in someone because they're good and you don't want him and see him in the final, vote Johnny Bananas, vote Leroy, hell, even vote CT. I would say Johnny Riley be your stupidest bet on that. He hasn't done much the whole season, but even, Kahutta's not bad, but Leroy, I would still, even though he hasn't performed as well, I would even vote maybe him, but definitely, I would just say go with Johnny Bananas or CT. Even though CT hasn't done anything this season, but CT did just win last season, so he actually has a little bit of winter blood in him. So anyway, he goes with Kahutta, and of course Nani's not thrilled about that. So they do the voting, and Zach CT and Teresa vote Johnny, or not Johnny, Kahutta, but Nani actually goes with Johnny Riley. So, and I agree, it's time for this Johnny Riley to stop getting a free ride. I mean, it would be different if the reason why he was avoiding every elimination is because of the fact he was dominating the regular challenges. But in all actuality, I mean, I haven't evaluated it enough, but he hasn't really. He's kind of slacked off. I mean, he even admitted, today that he didn't do as good as he should. So, and for the girls, who's left? Well, guess what? They consider Jessica bottom tier, so they want to get rid of a bad girl too. So everybody votes Jessica in. So it's Jessica and Kahutta going in the elimination. And so they get to the elimination, and if you've been following the rotations, it's time for balls in. And from what I'm thinking, it's just probably going to be the last time they play it. And it's getting a little old, but it's really fun to watch. But yeah, it's so late in the season. It's, in case you want to know, it's the one Chet and Frank where he got injured in. It's basically one person stands in the barrel, guards it, and the other person they flip flop who's on offense, and you have to get the ball in the barrel, and the first person in 3 balls wins. I'm pretty sure if you've been watching it, you know what I'm talking about by now. It's the exact same elimination with the exact same name, balls in, and the Inferno too. So anyway, it's time for the draw. Guys come down. I'll do the guys first. Johnny Bananas gets lucky, doesn't pick it. And then Johnny Riley comes down, and guess what? He doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. No, it actually isn't Johnny Riley. I'm sorry. It's Kahutta comes down, and he gets the kill card, and Johnny Riley is the only guy left. So once again, and even Johnny Riley says, it's the luck of the Irish, so he avoids, once again, another elimination. It's the man's first season ever, and he has avoided every elimination. And let's not forget that this season has a lot of eliminations. So, the fact he's now avoided 9, and it's his first season, is absolutely remarkable. Granted, he was voted in, but due to the Frank issue, where he had to get sent home, there may or may not be an elimination. But then again, you could say he got lucky how there was an elimination. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but, like I said, I'm happy for him. He's a nice guy. He's just getting really lucky this season. For the girls, Devin, once again, similar to Johnny Riley in his situation, gets lucky. And I love Devin. She's a great, funny girl, but she sucks, and it's like she deserves to go in. I mean, it's like, so it's down to Cara Maria and Laurel, and once again, you saw it coming. Cara Maria draws the kill card for the 3rd time this season. That makes her the only person that she's drawn the kill card more than anybody on this season, and it probably will be the only person to draw it 3 times. But yeah, so Cara Maria is going again. Of course, she hasn't done this one yet. She did Looper and she did Oppenheimer, but now it's time for balls in. So anyway, this is going to be once again where the matchup. You got Leroy going for the. I was sorry earlier. It wasn't Kahutta. It was obviously Leroy that drew the kill card. I don't know what I'm thinking. So Jessica and Cara Maria go at it. If you thought Jessica sucked, you need to watch this. I keep telling people she's done well. I keep telling people she picked up Anastasia, who's tall as hell, at a mission last season and carried her. She's not the reason why they went home early last year. She gives it a fight. They are back and forth scoring, but Cara Maria has a little bit of the upper hand, and she ends up beating her. But I'm telling you right now, it was an intense battle. There were several times where they were out of bounds and couldn't, had to restart. So Cara Maria and Jessica, I mean, one of the best battles of the season. As a matter of fact, Free Agents is going to go down, in my opinion, as the only season. Well, I'll have to look it up, but I will say I think probably the only season where the female eliminations are more exciting than the male eliminations. Because every other season you would say just the opposite. The men usually go at it tough, but this season's got some killer female eliminations. So, that's all I'm going to say on that. I mean, now time for the guys, and it shouldn't take, Leroy's, about 6'2". Kahutta is actually 5'6". His mom even told me on Facebook one time. So Leroy's about 230 pounds of muscle. Kahutta's a little skinny guy, weighs about 145. So size plays a role. Agility also plays a role. But you could kind of see how this is going to go. He just slams Kahutta down out of bounds. Leroy does. He just kind of scoots over and leans over Kahutta for point number one. Kahutta realizes he has no chance when he's on offense, so he tries to shoot over Leroy's head, but he just slams him down again. So Leroy basically, leans over Kahutta on that barrel and gets all 3 points at him, just destroys him. It's not even a contest. Once again, another blowout victory for the men. So it's getting boring on the male. We need to see a good male elimination. So far the only one I was really interested in on the man's side, well, Preston and Kahutta was even out. That's one good thing. But then again, they both were lousy physical competitors. But I would say Johnny and Jordan so far is the most exciting. And really, I think that had more to do with the rivalry between the two than anything, and had really nothing to do with the fact that it was that intense of a match. Anyway, so, poor old Kahutta. Nani's sad, of course. No shitter. But, anyway, here's where it gets interesting. Cara Maria hurts her hand. And she goes up, and the paramedics say you may have fractured it. She's crying, and she realizes that, oh, shit, I might get sent home. So, unfortunately for her, even if she doesn't get sent home, I'm telling you, she's not going to win, and she might lose in the elimination. So, unfortunately, and of course, Cara Maria, she's the epitome of bad luck on these challenges. If there's a homage to bad luck, her, I would say Leroy, Brandon, you could pick a handful of competitors, but she's definitely in that bad luck gang there. And it should also be noted, Laurel was cheering for Jessica the entire elimination. So her and Laurel have a little feud, and Cara Maria doesn't want to be friends with her anymore. And I think she's finally realizing Laurel's kind of shady this season, so we'll see how that goes. So will they be friends? Will Laurel screw her and vote her in? Because I don't think Laurel's going to go in anymore. It's going to get pretty intense from now on. And next, it can only go, I don't know how it's going to go, because I don't see either of the 5 guys remaining going home, except for Johnny Riley. But since it's apparently against the law in Uruguay to vote Johnny Riley in an elimination, I guess, I don't know. I don't think he ever will. So we'll see how it goes, and stay tuned.